Hi, my name is Kelly Rose. I'm with Panda Rose Consulting Studios Incorporated, and I'm here to discuss with you about search engine optimization. Now, there are two types of search engine optimization. Global search engine optimization, which is where you are targeting a global market for keywords. However, what I'm going to concentrate on is local search engine optimization, which is when you are a local small to medium business and you want to target a regional market so that when somebody is searching for your services, you're the one that shows up first. Now, a bunch of you have probably heard this term, and especially in the last year, because you've gotten that email. You know which one I'm talking about. The one that says, I took a look at your search engine optimization and I've attached a report for you. You open the report and right at the top it has performance, search engine optimization, and a variety of other different rankings. And under SEO it usually says something like C- or D. Sometimes it even says F. This is true, unfortunately, for most people because most people's search engine optimization is really not optimal. However, the person who sent you that report probably doesn't know much more than what you know from that report because he used an automated online search engine optimization report such as SEOptimer to generate the report quickly, print it out, and send it to you. He probably hasn't even reviewed the report. In fact, when you look at the second page of the report, you'll see a section that usually says keywords. And in that listing, you'll see something like 5 p.m. or clock. Now, unless you are one of those few businesses I'm aware of that's manufacturing watches in this region, pretty sure those are not your keywords. But when you run an automated report and it is not being reviewed with your business in mind, that would be the keywords that you would see. So what does this all mean? Well, for one, he's absolutely right. Your search engine optimization needs work. This means that you need to take a look at your website and you need to make sure that the technical details there are correct so that Google properly ranks you for your business in your region. But you don't want to spend your time on somebody who either doesn't care about your business and is sending these blanket emails out. And you also don't want to spend your time simply doing keyword stuffing or trying to fool Google into putting you first. The way Google operates is Google wants your site or anybody's site to show up first when it is the correct site for the search that is being done. So if somebody's toilet is overflowing and they have a bit of an emergency on hand and they search for plumber, my toilet is overflowing, Google does not want to be showing them videos off of YouTube of hilarious toilets overflowing. What Google wants to show them is a local plumber that you can call right away so that their toilet can get fixed. Similarly, if I search for mortgage, I should be getting mortgage brokers from my region. How does Google do this? Well, there's over 400 different factors that Google considers that we're aware of in determining its page ranking. This is why there are many SEO firms out who can help achieve these high rankings. That being said, the three factors we've discovered over our many years of doing SEO is how credible are you, how authentic are you, and how appropriate are you to the keywords that are being searched for at that time. Now, there is a type of SEO out there called black hat SEO, where the goal of it is to fool Google into putting you at the top, regardless of whether you are credible or authentic to that industry. These are the people who recommend things such as keyword stuffing, paying for backlinks from blogs that have nothing to do with you, and investing in what are called link farms. Sometimes these methods work. That's why black hat SEO does have a business model. But in many cases, once Google finds out that you are implementing these methods and trying to find a way around their system, you get penalized. And in the worst case, you can get what's called sandboxed, in which case you don't show up on Google at all until you can go through an appeals process. If you are doing it correctly, and since all of you probably own legitimate businesses, so this would be the obvious way of doing it, you want to target both the authenticity and the credibility side as well as all of those technical aspects. Now, what does authenticity mean? This means how long has your business existed? How can we know that your business is a legitimate business in the region? Well, Google's a robot. They're not hiring people to go and check every single business, call every single number. What they're doing is they look at existing directories, and then from those existing directories determine whether or not the business has been around for a while, determine whether or not the business is established, and determine whether or not the business is well known. This is why, if you want a good ranking on Google, you need to make sure your Google business page is set up correctly. You need to make sure that you go through the verification process. What they will do for this is they will send you a little postcard with a little code on it. You type in the code, and now Google goes, okay, you exist and you exist at this address. Awesome. Sometimes Google actually will call you too, but that's a different edge case. Then Google also looks at these aggregators who look at all of these directories online and try to generate what companies are out there and which exist. Now these aggregators pull from other map sites. So once you have your Google business site set up correctly and verified, then make sure you have a Facebook page set up with the exact same address as your Google business site. Now that means if your address is 123 someplace street and you spell it out S-T-R-E-E-T, then your Facebook page should say the exact same thing. It should not say S-T, it should say S-T-R-E-E-T. Because algorithmically, while Google can compensate for that, we have found that the closer to an exact match everything is, the better your ranking will be. And it makes sense, because if you care about your business, if you're authentic, you're going to make sure that all of your directory listings are the same. And this is especially important if you've moved, because from Google's perspective, if it sees two completely different addresses, it doesn't know which one is correct anymore. So you need to spend the time to make sure they match. Once you have your Facebook page set up, then I would recommend you set up a Bing Places page, which sounds silly. Bing, why would that influence my Google ranking? Well, it's because Bing gets picked up by the aggregators, and the aggregators feed Google. So it's very important to make sure that page is set up correctly as well. Also, worthwhile getting a Yelp page set up if you can. Note, they will call you endlessly trying to sell you advertising. You don't need it for most industries. It's not worth following through on. It's just, that's their business model. It's a perfectly reasonable business model, but being listed on Yelp makes a big difference. Outside of that, there is hundreds of other directories get picked up by these aggregators, including your local Chamber of Commerce, which if you're not a member of, I highly recommend you pick up your phone, give them a call, and join. Chambers of Commerce are awesome and good organizations, at least the ones I've been involved with. Outside of that, once you have all that together, then Google can go, okay, this is an authentic site. You get a certain number of SEO points, for lack of better words, for that. And now they look at your credibility. This is your Google reviews. This is your Yelp reviews. This is your reviews on your Facebook page. Google aggregates all of those and goes, is this a good business? Are a lot of people going to it and reviewing it positively? Interestingly, having a couple of negative reviews can actually help you a bit in this case, because there are a lot of people who will review stuff, and that will give them an unusually high number for their number of stars for their review, and Google goes, well, it's a little iffy on that. We will maybe dial them back a bit. If you have a couple of lower reviews, it looks more natural. Google goes, these are more natural reviews. They give that review ranking a little bit higher. In this case, it's real simple. Every time you do business for one of your clients, you can write them afterwards with the invoice and go, thank you for your business. Please, we would love it if you would review our business. In there, you can put a little link to your Google page and allow them to review quickly. Or if you want, you can contact us at Panda Rose, and we'll show you how you can get that link quickly so that you can send that with your emails. This will allow you to naturally and organically get those reviews and help build up your credibility side of your page ranking. Now on the third side, which is targeting those keywords, there's a whole list of ways, and this is a very intensive environment. But the most important thing to get that working correctly is to make sure your site is accessible by as many different devices to as many different people as possible. So if you have images on your site with text, Google doesn't read that text. Why? Because Google is programmatically going through your site. So make sure those images with text either have what are their proper alt tags, so that the text has a programmably readable version, or you get rid of those images and make sure you have just plain text on your site at that point. This is very important, not just for Google, but for any potential customer you have, because if you have a customer visit your site who's blind, for example, they won't be able to see that image either. So it's absolutely imperative that you concentrate on making sure that your site is accessible by as many different people as possible, and that will boost your ranking. Finally, Google also will take into consideration how well your site views on a mobile app, on a mobile phone, which means you need to make sure that your site is responsive, that when somebody goes to your site on a phone, it's readable, it's usable, it works well. And that just makes sense. Because so many people these days use their phone to look up a business. If they get to your site and they can't find your phone number because it's in tiny little text, it's of no use to them. So of course Google's not going to promote that site. Once you get these things done, there's all sorts of other factors, but just those three things will make such a difference for your SEO that you'll probably actually notice an increase in your organic traffic if you do this correctly. However, I understand you have a business to run. You don't want to be spending all of your time doing the technical work. In that type of circumstance, give us a call. We can sit down with you and figure out something that works within your budget so that you can concentrate on growing your business and we can concentrate on helping you. This is Kelly Rose discussing local SEO.